Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Schiller, and this is my video series on statistics. You'll be following myself and my dog Peaches, my two children Nathan and Rudy, on an adventure through statistics and my videos, which hopefully you'll find interesting. Really, it's just another way of looking at things, and there'll be accompanying notes that allow you to record things as we move along, help you later on so you can recall this information. Alright, so we're going to start today on section 1.1. It's really an introduction to statistics where we'll talk about some basic terms. And we're going to do that using everybody's new favorite game, Pokemon Go. So here we go. Alright, this is the first video on our series for statistics. First thing we're going to talk about today in this first video is what is statistics. Basically, it's organizing data, gathering data, putting it together in charts, graphs, and then so we can analyze it and interpret it later on. We're going to do this using Pokemon Go. This is section 1.1 in our notes, so you will be able to follow along. You're not going to just sit there and watch. You're going to be active and you're going to be taking notes as we do this. So I will give you the notes and you will write down as we go through this. We're going to do this using Pokemon. These two guys are tracking down and trying to find Pokemon, and I know after they capture one of these guys, we're going to go down and we're going to try to take over a gym. They're going to show me. Who is it?
Nidoran.
And we're trying to catch him. What are you doing?
Just throw a Pokeball at him.
Did you get him?
Yeah. You gotta wait. If it spins 3 times, then you catch it.
Nice.
There.
Got him?
Yep.
Alright, let's head down to the gym and see what we can do with them. Peaches is really interested in where the boys are heading. Alright, now we're gonna fight. So we're gonna watch and see
I'm
what
just
happens.
setting up.
So we're gonna hold up.
Ready? Nate, go ahead.
Okay.
Is Nate, are you ready? And go.
What's going on? What
He's
kind of guy is
attacking.
that? Oh, it's over. That's
We
it.
won.
Woohoo! That was
You
all.
win. But then you have to fight it again
What?
if you want to actually take the gym.
Alright, well, you guys do that one more time and take over. Well, after going out and playing the Pokemon game, I now see why everybody's so crazy and excited about the game. Not really, but it did allow us to collect some information, and we're going to use that information to help us understand some basic statistical terms. So what I'm going to do is you can follow me, and I'm going to send you these notes. They'll either be in Schoology or in Google Classroom. I'll let you know as soon as I figure out which platform I'll be using. And you'll follow along from here, and you'll be able to write down notes for yourself and margins and things like that. All right, so here we go. You'll see here that I've collected some information about Pokemon. These are the 6 Pokemon that my son used when we were down under the bridge to capture that gym. Now, when you're doing data analysis, you put it in a nice little chart like I did here. And the reason we're doing this is a few things you need to know, some terms. First off, the individuals, or if they're people or Pokemon, they'll be called the subjects. That's these people here. That's the who of our data. Data does not have any meaning unless you can have some sort of context. Context means we're going to talk about the who, what, where, when, why, how. And the who is it we're collecting information about. And it's going to be these Pokemon here. What is it we want to know about them? That's the variables. That's the term variable. How do they vary, basically, is what we want to know. So our variables are type, height, weight, technique, health, and combat power. There are 2 different types of variables, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative, also known as categorical. That's the one we're going to spend the most time on today. That would be type and technique. You can see we're not talking about numbers. We're talking about putting them in a category. That's why it's called categorical. What quality do they share? Now, quantitative is numbers. That would be height, weight, health, and combat power. You can do all sorts of things with those. You can order them from least to greatest. You can find the average. You can find the middle number. There's all sorts of things you can do. And we spend the majority of the time doing that later. So for now, we're going to concentrate on categorical data, which is here and here. What I did was I took that data and I created a pie chart. I took the type, and there were 54, my son has 54 total Pokemon. And sometimes you may need to know, well, which type of Pokemon do I have the most of? Which ones do I need more? And he was telling me there that the place we just were, there, most people down there, when you go down there, have water. I guess maybe because you're near water. I don't know if that's true or not. But so he gave me all the different types of Pokemon he had. And then what we did was broke them down by percentage. And here's a pie chart. And you can easily see here the 20.4 right there is the water Pokemon. And that's what he had the most of. You can also, with categorical data, create a bar graph. And sometimes a bar graph's easier if you have a lot of data. Because if these things get real small, it's real hard to tell which one's which, looking back and forth. Whereas when you're here, you can see right away which one is which. So both of these are useful. Sometimes it's better to use a pie chart. Sometimes it may be better to use a bar graph. After we do that, what we're going to do with the categorical data, another thing you can do is sometimes what'll happen is you put data into tables like this. This is called a two-way table. And a two-way table, a lot of times you're going to collect information, and from that information it'll allow you to see how things are related, whether they are or aren't. There's all sorts of different things we can do. This is the young adults by gender and the amount of time they play Pokemon Go. 124 young people were surveyed. So here's my males, here's my females, between never to every day, and there's my 124 people. Now when you're doing these two-way tables, a lot of times people are interested in just what's out here. See this right down here? This is called the marginal distribution down here. This is also the marginal distribution. This is the marginal distribution for sex, whereas if I wanted to know what percent of males are there that in our survey, it would be 72 out of 124. What percent are females? 52 out of 124. And then if I go in this direction, it'll be the amount of time that they play. So it would be from never, 37 out of 124, 11 out of 124, and they're usually written as percents as they do marginal distributions. When they talk about distributions, they're just talking about a particular group here. Just these people. Here's a distribution here. Here's a distribution going this way. I have another distribution this way. It's all about what the information that you're concerned with. So another thing that they may ask us is what percent of males play every day? And what would I do is I do 22 out of 72, because they're asking what percent of males. That's called conditional distribution, given the condition that they're male. So they could also ask what percent of people that are males play every day, and that's different. That's 22 out of 124, because they're the people we're talking about. What percent of the people, of the total people, are males that play every day? So it's always about who is it we're concerned with. I could also ask what percent of the people that play 1 or 2 times a week are males. So now I'm only concerned with these people, and I would do 6 out of 11. And they talk about conditional probability. What they're talking about are conditional distributions. They're talking about given a specific information, like whether they're male, female, or they play every day, or they never play, and things like that. This will allow us to compare males, females, and things like that to see whether or not there is a relationship between how often you play being male versus female. We'll talk about that a little more in depth as we get into it. This really is just a quick little introduction to section 1.1. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the first video. I'll see you in class.